What if politics became a performance and the ripple effects showed up in your bus schedule, your winter getaway, and the senators' special teams? Let's get into it. First, today's Ottawa weather, around -3 degrees Celsius on average, a low near -10 and a high around 0 with light snow. Closer to home, Stittsville councillor Glen Gower is setting winter priorities and asking you to weigh in. Think shovels, skates, and service. Outdoor rink maintenance stays top of mind as freeze-thaw swings make ice a moving target. He's inviting feedback on the renewal of Stitt Street Park and pushing for better OC Transpo bus service delivery. Community groups can pitch greening and gardening projects. And if you've got a small idea with big neighborhood impact, applications are open for the 2026 Stittsville Community Micro-Grant program. A reminder from Ottawa Police. Dangerous driving is popping up across neighborhoods, so take it slow, especially with that light snow in the mix. And if you own a vacant unit, the city's Vacant Unit Tax declaration portal is live. Don't sleep on that deadline. On the ice, two big storylines. Ottawa's PWHL squad, the Ottawa Charge, rolled to their sixth straight win, this time in front of another sold-out crowd in Halifax on the PWHL Takeover Tour. Momentum, energy, and a fan base that keeps showing up. Exactly what you want, midwinter. Over at the NHL rink, the Florida Panthers snagged a road win in Ottawa. Sergei Bobrovsky stacked crucial saves. Special teams swung the night, and rookie Sandis Vilmanis impressed in his NHL debut. For the Sens, it's a reminder. Details on the kill and entries on the power play matter when an elite goalie is locked in. If you're a snowbird contemplating a February escape, a new Ipsos snapshot suggests more Canadians are giving the U.S. a pass this winter. Some are staying home, others going farther south to places like Mexico. The backdrop: tensions fueled by President Donald Trump's rhetoric, including remarks about making Canada the 51st state, have left some Canadians feeling unwelcome. The pocketbook effect is real. Pollsters are seeing shifts in spending and travel habits away from the U.S., especially among those who usually flock to warm states. Zooming out to the bigger political picture, writer Stephen Marche argues the U.S. has drifted into a post-policy phase. Politics that prioritizes performance over results. He points to the conservative push to overturn Roe v. Wade, which, paradoxically, has been followed by an increase in abortions, underscoring the gap between objectives and outcomes. Abroad, he notes, America hasn't notched a major war victory in 80 years, and says foreign policy has grown more about visibility than substance. He also argues the apolitical standing of the U.S. military has been eroded, reshaping how it's viewed at home and abroad. For Canadians watching from across the border, this isn't just theory. When politics turns theatrical, it can shape markets, travel, and alliance strategy in ways we all feel. Energy and geopolitics are colliding too. Prime Minister Mark Carney is brushing off concerns that Venezuelan oil could undercut Canada. His case: Canadian crude is cheaper, cleaner, and lower risk, and Ottawa is steadily diversifying beyond the U.S. market. But questions loom as President Trump's aggressive posture, from eyeing Greenland to military actions in Venezuela, reorders the chessboard. Some experts wonder whether a Washington-Caracas opening could shift U.S. leverage in trade talks if Venezuelan barrels start flowing. The volatility also creates both risks and openings for regional guerrilla groups, raising the specter of wider conflict. For Canada, it's a dual challenge: protect market share while staying aligned with climate commitments in a world where energy security and environmental responsibility are increasingly inseparable. Legal rulings are shaping climate and development on two fronts. In Manitoba, a judge has ordered the province to reconsider polar bear viewing permits for lazy bear expeditions after finding the wildlife branch mishandled the file. The court questioned claims that cutting tundra vehicle numbers would aid conservation, noting there wasn't evidence to back that up. The dispute traces back to Great White Bear's legal challenge over lazy bears permits in 2020. Meanwhile, in Ontario, the battle over Ontario Place is headed to the Supreme Court of Canada. The Ontario Place Protectors Coalition argues the Rebuilding Ontario Place Act is unconstitutional because it shields government actions from court scrutiny and skirts environmental and heritage safeguards. Ontario's Court of Appeal previously dismissed parts of the challenge, saying courts aren't there to referee political grievances, only legal and constitutional breaches. Now the country's top court will weigh in, with big implications for how far provinces can go in fast-tracking redevelopment. If you like to test yourself, CBC Ottawa's weekly quiz is out. Among the prompts, a judge's specific reason for handing a suspended sentence to the man who vandalized the National Holocaust Monument. 3 people charged in a late December homicide in an eastern Ontario city. And safety concerns raised by residents in a Brockville apartment building. It's a quick way to see how closely you've been following the local file. Before we wrap, a note for planners and policy watchers. In an era Marché calls performative, narratives travel fast. We'll keep tracking how shifting rhetoric affects real-life choices, from where Canadians spend their travel dollars to how cities fund parks and transit. And we'll keep an eye on how climate and conservation decisions, like those polar bear permits, get tested in court rather than in press conferences. One more time on the weather. Around -3 degrees Celsius today, a low near -10, and a high around 0 with light snow. Take it easy on the roads, lace up if your local rink is open, and we'll see you next time.